to you, what are some of the traits that you would look for, looking back to give advice on somebody who will be growing
Yeah.
with the company as the company evolves?
I mean, for CEOs, I think it's really important to understand, first of all, what you're looking for before who you're looking for, right? It's if I want someone who's fantastic at playing the clarinet, then I need someone who actually plays the clarinet. I don't want to say I'll take anyone who can sing. Like just because you can sing doesn't mean you can play the clarinet. And so they're both musicians, right? And so
Right.
not a salesperson is not a salesperson is not a salesperson. And I think people who've never been in sales for their career may not understand that a salesperson might be very successful in one organization, but maybe not as successful in another organization, maybe even in the same industry for very understandable reasons. And so I think the first step is getting really clear about what the CEO needs based on where they are in the organization, right? So if they're a brand new CEO, they've only made, 20, 25 sales, they might need somebody who's far better at business development and figuring out product market fit. They might need somebody more senior than that. Or if they're a sales executive as a CEO who knows their stuff, they might need someone to come in and support them. So
Mhm.
strategy matters, right? You can't just get a good salesperson.
Right. Because when you got into Codco, it's already established organization. There was already some kind of process and things in place that you just moved on and moved up. So if you were just starting with a
Right.
startup, you may not have gotten to managing 1,000 people necessarily,
Oh,
maybe.
I can tell you without a doubt, I would not have been as successful in an unstructured program because all of the learning that happened during that period, I mean, I couldn't even begin to recount all of the learning in an hour-long conversation with you. Like just the number of books that I was encouraged to read on topics not only of sales, but of self-improvement and personal productivity and just bettering myself and financial acumen and I mean, there's so many things that I got better at along the way. And so I think um, trying to learn all of that in a trial and error method, it takes longer. And I wouldn't have gotten that far in a lifetime, let alone
Right.
11 years. And so, no, so I think that anyone who's new to sales and wants to learn about sales, I think Robert Kiyosaki in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad said it really well. Go work for 2 years in an organization that has an amazing sales program. And he talked about like Xerox. I don't know much about their sales program today, or he talked about IBM,
Mhm.
which still has a great sales program today. And there's so many great organizations that have sales training programs with a way of kind of moving up in the program. There's lots of them. So if someone
Well,
wants to get great in sales, go work in a great sales organization that really understands sales training.
this is very important what you just said. So when CEOs come to me and they go, I just want somebody hungry and somebody who can sell. I'm like, well, do you have a training in place? How are you going to support this person? So what you were just saying, it just sort of reiterates the fact that don't hire a newbie who doesn't know what they're doing because they're hungry if you can't provide support or training or onboarding for them that will set up for success. Did I hear that right?
I think that's right, but there's hope because I think there's so many different ways to get a training program into place, even for small companies that don't have a lot of resources. You can outsource that to people. Adam Boyd was on your show. If you haven't seen him speak, you should definitely go watch the Adam Boyd show. He's amazing. My friends over at Lucian, like Aaron Prickle, do a really great job of this. I think there's a whole network of different types of methodologies and people that you can bring in to do that type of support for an organization. Full disclosure, I use Aaron Pickle and his team to help with some of my team where I work now to give some of that training and support. Even though I know how to do all of this stuff, I was honest enough to know that I wasn't going to have the time in my day as a CEO to do some of those things. So I hired them to come in and do it.
Yep. So you identified your hole, like what was the holes in whatever you're trying to accomplish, and go and find those.
Right.
But not don't put all that weight on the new hire because that's you setting them up for to fail, basically, if you don't have that set up.
Which is then setting up the company to fail too, right? You're setting up the company
Right.
as well. That's right.
That is so important.